AYEJENAE,
All right.
top
Hot seat.
five
Let's go.
90s R&B albums. Let's go, hot seat. You
All
on?
You
right.
got a
I'm
you got
gonna
a
just,
Walkman. That's what you got.
I got a
That's what
Yup.
you
Walkman.
playing
I
He
on
got
got
a
the
Walkman.
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 Walkman in the boombox.
Yup.
Yeah.
For real. All right. So, like I said earlier, these are definitive to me. These are my picks. So,
Right.
first things first. Like I mentioned last show, I was a TLC stan, still am. So I'm gonna have to start with "Crazy Sexy Cool," and I actually had that on cassette. It wasn't even mine. I stole it from my uncle. Um,
All right. Yep.
I was at my grandmother's house. He was playing it, and boom, I stole it. He never saw it again. Um, just being a TLC stand, and then the way they changed their whole style up, the track list. And my favorite track that was released from the album was "Digging on You." Favorite
Yeah.
non-release was "Kick Your Game" and "Case of Fake People." But that
Oh
album
yeah.
was just like it reminds me of being like a little kid at my grandmother's house, just being wild and crazy, running around. And that was the soundtrack to that. So that brings back a lot of nostalgic memories of being a little girl because I was like 8 when that album came out. So
Yeah.
Shit,
definitely
me.
one of my favorites. I played it till it popped.
Yeah.
So still have it downloaded on my phone right now. I'll listen to it any given the interludes,
Yep.
the Fife on the intro. So excellent album, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that's and
Great
these
pick.
aren't in any particular order. They're like I can't rank them because they all meant different things at different times. So, but with that one, I just started with them because I love them. Uh, next album,
Yep.
Brian McKnight. That's my baby. I love him.
Brian
Uh,
McKnight.
Singer,
Ignite.
writer,
Yeah.
producer. I absolutely adore everything he's ever done. But for me, Anytime is my favorite Brian McKnight album.
Yeah.
Okay.
From beginning to end. Like my favorite
Respect.
song of all time is actually the only one for me, which is on that album, and that's probably why it's my favorite. But he had some hits on there. He had the song with Mace. He had Anytime, of course. He had the song Could, um, and that album just kind of mellows me out. It just kind of if I'm having a bad day, I could listen to that and it'll mellow me out. And even as a 12-year-old, when I got the album, I was 12, and I'm just like, I feel real grown listening to this. Um,
He was
Ever
deep in
since
it.
then, like I've just been in love with him and his music, and it's my serenity. He is my
Wow.
serenity with that album in particular. Um, so yeah,
Anytime. It'll go
next
hard.
album, this one is um another like a coming of age type album. I was definitely in middle school. I was definitely like the awkward teen in middle school, and this album was just Brandy. Never say never.
Yeah.
Uh, and a lot of people are like don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about this album. A lot of people did not have that album that I'm cool with. And people are like, girl, get out of here. Brandy, like this bubblegum pop teeny type stuff. I love that album from beginning to end. Sitting
Brandy
on top
Cole.
of the world, have you ever? You don't know me like you used to.
Yep.
Uh, and my favorite song by Brandy of all time is Angel in Disguise. It's like number 2 on the CD.
Angel in
Fire.
disguise.
Her vocals, like she's not called a vocal Bible for nothing. This girl can sing, and it's very different from anybody I've ever heard before. She doesn't sound like anybody. You hear Brandy, you know it's Brandy.
You said
So
she's called the vocal.
vocal Bible, they call her the vocal
Right.
Bible.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. People don't really like young people don't know about that really.
they don't.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't like Brandy. Like when she first dropped, I didn't like Best Friend. I didn't like Baby. I didn't like none of that. Sitting up in my room was the first song I actually liked by her. And then
Yeah.
this album dropped, and I was like, all right, she cool.
Oh, you
Uh,
got Angel in disguise. Boys mine is on here too.
Boy's Mind is on there. That was a bop, but they played that too much, and I was kind of like, all
Yeah.
right. I got sick of it kind of quick. I used to
Yeah.
skip over it honestly.
Oh, okay.
But you don't know me like you used to was my shit. It was a single, but it didn't do good. So
Yeah.
um,
Nah,
but
this sleeper right here. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
the
banger.
album was fire.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, next album, I love Janet Jackson. So
Okay.
Velvet Rope.
Oh, I forgot
Since
they came out.
Rhythm Nation came out in the 80s, late 80s, I missed it by a
Yep.
couple years because that would have been the album on here if it came out in
Yep.
like 1990 or something. But I picked the Velvet Rope because for whatever reason, this album doesn't make me think of Janet at all. This doesn't seem like anything she would ever do. The first single with Q-Tip, I was like, okay. Well, the first single was uh, Together Again, and I was like, okay, this is different. And then the song with Q-Tip, and then Go Deep, and then all this other stuff. But it was like I felt like it was a very personal album for Janet. Like it was, she touched on a lot of stuff that was just like really personal and like kind of deep, and I could vibe with that. Like I was like, okay, I like this Janet. Like the
Mm-hmm.
Janet album, it came out like '93. I didn't really, the singles were fire, but the rest of the album was trash to me. But this album, it had like songs like "What About," um, what's
Yep.
the name of that song? I had it up here.
Got you, my
Use
need,
on there.
every time or
Actually, the
something.
Velvet Rope song, which was, I had no business listening to that. I Get Lonely is on there. Every Time is on there. Rope Burn also had no business listening into, but it was still my jam. Still my jam.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a real deep album, and I liked that it was so different from anything. It wasn't real poppy. It was like her first true like R&B neo soul. It was very different for her, and I could appreciate that. And
That's a great pick.
last but not least, I fought. It was between this and another one. I made the other one an honorable mention, but the last one is Mary J. Blige, "Share My World." Now, this album doesn't
Oh,
get the love it deserves. Everybody's always talking about My Life, 411. This album was a banger. She had everything on here. Well, at least to me. I Can Love You is on here, Round and Round, 7 Days.
oh,
My favorite Mary J. Blige song is Everything. Um, I love that song. I
Okay.
could listen to it on continuous loop and never get tired of it. Um, and also the song from the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack was on there too. Just a
okay.
good album. It makes me think about summertime. Summer of '97 is what it makes me think about specifically. I didn't get the album until Christmas because you know how that is.
Yep.
Mom was a little
Yep.
funny.
They go Christmas shopping to get it
um,
for you.
it's like just the hearing the album, like hearing the songs from the album over the summer, and then everything specifically. Um, just it made me feel like okay, I'm not as lame as I think I am. You know, I got a Mary J. Blige CD. I'm kind of cool now, like because my music taste was a little. I had some Will Smith in there. I had a lot of stuff that was kind of like unorthodox for
Will
a young
Smith was
black girl.
dope back then.
Big Willie style was my joint. We're not gonna
Yep.
talk about that though.
Yep.
But it was just like my first like real like super deep R&B album where like, and Mary wasn't in a lot of pain in this album. I like that too. Like sometimes I don't want her to be sad all the time. This album wasn't completely sad, so she was doing okay here.
Yeah.
So I could appreciate that album. So those are my five, and I struggled with that. Those are my top five R&B of the '90s.
So you got Crazy Sexy Cool,
Yeah,
TLC, Anytime, Brian McKnight,
yeah,
Never Say Never, that's
Brandy.
Brandy,
Hmm.
Velvet Rope,
Hmm.
Janet Jackson, Share My World, Mary J. Blige.
That's it.
Nah, that's interesting because I didn't even think about Brian McKnight, man, because there's so many. Like I forgot that Anytime is a banger though.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's a good list. So Crazy Sexy Cool, you was liking that digging what was it?
Digging
Digging
on you.
on
I
you,
love that
digging on
song.
the
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit go hard.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
To this day. Sounds good
And
still.
yep.
Sounds
And
good.
well, Case of the Fake People. That was a bonus track. I remember listening to that.
Hmm. It was just on the album. It wasn't bonus, but it was just mixed
Oh
into the
yeah,
album. It
like a
wasn't
filler or
released or
something.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dope,
good.
dope.
And then they have the song that was inspired by Prince, the Prince sample.
Oh, the girlfriend.
Yeah.
If I was your girlfriend. Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Great
Um.
album. Like I can
Yeah.
appreciate it now as an adult. A lot of stuff I listen to now, and I was like, okay, I can appreciate it a little bit more because I understand what they're talking about. Like Waterfalls at 8, I'm like, don't chase waterfalls.
I just like the video. I thought the video was dope. I didn't know what they were
Fire.
talking about. You know what
That's
I'm
it.
saying? Yep.
But yeah,
Dope. And Velvet Rope. That's I didn't even think about that either. Like Janet Jackson.
fire.
Yep.
Fire. She stepped her game up for that one because she kind of lost me with Janet. I was like,
What was on Janet?
Janet, she had like Throb. She had the hits like If, Anytime, Any Place.
Oh, okay.
That's the way love goes. The release songs were okay. But once you start listening to the album, it was just kind of like, all right.
yeah,
For me. For me.
yeah,
So, and I love Janet. So,
yeah. No, yeah, Janet dope.
yeah,
Then you
yeah.
got Never Say Never.
Never
Uh,
seen
Brandy, man. She slept on, man.
Always
Vocal
heavily.
Bible. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Love me
yeah,
some
dope.
branding.
Yeah. Um so those are your five. Do you have any honorable mentions or
Oh yeah. It
okay.
was this was rough. For
Yeah.
honorable mentions, you got to put Usher My Way on there.
My
Um,
way, okay.
oh, good grief. He was so fine back then. Like he was every 11-year-old's like dream back then. He was so fine. Just the nice and slow My Way. You Make Me Wanna Slow Jam with Monica. It was a good album. Like I had the tape, but I fast forwarded to the songs that I like to hear. But he had a few on there that were fire.
Yeah.
Um, Another one is Maxwell, the Urban Hang Suite. I
Yeah.
was like 2, 3 years late. I think I got that album like right before I got to high school. It came out in the '90s,
Yeah.
Yep,
but
it did.
I
Yeah.
got it like right before, and I was like, I was sleep.
You know what? I forgot that it came out in the '90s too. I thought that came out like in like 2000 or
No,
2001. Yeah.
it's like
I feel like
97,
music played longer too back then.
Yeah, true.
96.
Right.
You could write an album for years back then.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep.
So, another
Urban
one
Hang Suite.
is Drew Hill, Enter the Drew.
Yep.
Fire. At first, I didn't
Yep.
like Drew Hill. Tell Me in My Bed, I wasn't.
Oh, no, those
But
are jams.
these are the times is what brought me in.
These are the times
Yes.
I wish for. That shit go hard. Ain't wish
Yes.
they give us
So
a-
I had that CD. Very good. Very good album actually. They can actually sing. Like they're one of the male groups in the '90s who was like
Yep.
actually like sounded good together.
Yeah.
Um
And
and I had one more. Oh, SWV. It's About Time. I
Oh
would be
yeah.
if I didn't mention that.
Well,
I
I got
didn't
some. Yeah.
have it. My cousin played it. Like my cousin was like 10 years older than me. She would play it. So I would hear it through her door. That's how I
Yeah.
learned most of the songs because she wasn't trying to kick it with me. So I just um turned out to be like it's a really good album. I have it downloaded on my phone too. So like
No, hey, give it up for AYEJENAE. She got some
Yeah,
bangers,
nah,
man.
that's
She
a
got some
good
bangers.
pick.
She got
had
she
it.
got some she got a great top five and she got great honorable mentions.
Yeah, we can go the best if you just fuck with me. I can keep you with the best. I'm gonna keep you. I can keep you with the best if you just fuck with me. I can keep you with the best. I'm gonna treat you. I can keep you with the best. Eating good, shopping sprees. I can keep you with the best. Give you what you want. I can keep you with the best if you just fuck with me. I can keep you with the best. I'm that nigga.